Hey, it's Dr. Mars with an update on Twitchy, Clampy, and what's going on. Let's get started with the story of what I'm doing here. Twitchy is a robot that was streamed on Twitch for about 2, 3 months. I'd say about 2.5 years ago. Twitchy is a fun little robot arm that can be remote controlled by users on the internet. I started streaming on Twitch, and that was a lot of fun. There's a lot of people on Twitch. I pretty quickly got into the affiliate program. I shared the link with some people on Shitty Robots, and they just ate it up. They had so much fun. We painted paintings. We painted with hot dogs. They figured out how to walk around on the table with the robot, and it was pretty good fun. The robot had two cameras set up, one on above him and one to the side of him, so you could see what he's doing. And yeah, I think he was a lot of fun. Stopped streaming on Twitch because I got a job and I didn't have the time to I didn't have the setup or time that allowed me to do a 24/7 stream. I felt like there were a lot of people who wanted to continue to play even past my own bedtime, and I had it set up in a way that I couldn't really just leave it running. I still had to supervise it over time, and it was fun to be there as somebody there to come in as a big hand and fix things as they broke. But after a while, I kind of did start to get used to how to set up a scene so I don't have to really babysit it, and I started getting into pretty good at doing that. But um, part of the fun of it is being able to break things. That's half the fun in having a robot arm controlled by people on the internet. So Twitchy was controlled through commands sent through a chat room. You would type them out. You would say how long you want it to move. Otherwise, it just defaults to a second. But you could do points of a second. You could do 2 seconds. You could do 4 seconds. You could do 0.5 seconds. You would say whether you're moving the wrist or the shoulder or the elbow, or you're turning left or right, opening or closing the jaws. There's a lot of Twitch plays is a thing on Twitch, so people are pretty used to using the command line in Twitch. There's another issue with Twitch in that the time it took for the video to go from my house to the server to the end user was something like 30 seconds, and a lot of that was through processing the RMTP data stream, which also does a lot of buffering. And I could control a little bit of the buffering on my side, but Twitch does some of their own magic that adds a lot to the buffering. That led to you typing in a command and you sitting there for 30 seconds to see the robot's not moving. So you start typing more and more, and then suddenly it starts moving. And I have the commands coming up in the stream. And that kind of solves the problem, because then people could see the command come up and then the robot arm moving immediately at that time. On to Clampy. Clampy is Twitchy's child. It is the same robot. I stuck a camera on his head, 3D printed a little mount. So I 3D printed a mount for a camera. I attached to him, tightened up the cables with zip ties. I attached it to a little USB hub that can go to the computer where I'm streaming from. He is also affixed to the base so he doesn't move around, because there is no batteries. There used to be batteries, and that acted as a ballast for the robot so he doesn't flop around when he's picking up something heavy. Now I have it run permanently 24/7 on a 12-volt power supply. It's actually an old computer power supply, but it works great for this purpose because everything I have here is either 12 volts, 5 volts, or 3 volts, and it provides more than enough power for all that stuff. And it's been running 24/7, no problems whatsoever. All the whole setup here, it's all running on one computer power supply right now. I have an Arduino. It's not doing anything yet, but it's there. Um, the Arduino, I have a switch that I was going to do something with. So I have a little thing here that I was going to do something with. Um, it works with the Arduino. I put a lot of work into engineering this so it clicks down when you put the battery in there. But it's really hard to put the battery in there with a robot arm. So I was like, no, let's not do that. And I don't think the game mode was that really fun. So what I did is I have a scene dedicated for the robot. The scene will always be here for the robot, and I plan on letting him just run 24/7 as long as I can. And there's a computer screen in the back, so I could put up information. Right now it's just cool images, but I have some plans in the future to add some buttons and other controls and some smartness to what you're doing in here, so we can make little fun games that you could play with the robot arm through Mixer, maybe with other people, maybe with more things that you could do through the Mixer input. So onto Mixer. So Mixer is awesome. I wish I knew about this when I was first getting into Twitchy, because they have really, really fast streaming. Normally through RMTP streaming it would be about 30 seconds with buffering and everything. There's not a lot you could do about it. I could zero out the buffer as much as I can, and it's still going to take like at least 10 seconds to get to you. They have real-time streaming on Mixer, and plugins and everything just works really easy and really well, and everybody can do it with most every browser out there. The app's really fun, and another really cool thing is their Mixplay. Mixplay is amazing. It's completely next level. You don't have to remember commands. There's buttons on the screen. I can configure them to do all sorts of fun things. I got joysticks. I got buttons. I could actually come up with my own system if I wanted to. I could put my own website or code up there if I wanted to. It's super cool what you could do with Mixplay, and I'm really excited about it. And so I really want to expand on this platform more. So let's talk downtime and next steps. So we're going to have a downtime during the week of the 20th through the 28th. We can take a little vacation, and then we'll get back on it. So we're going to have a downtime for a week, and then we'll be back. And I think I'm going to start running some events and stuff once I get back. So that'll be a lot of fun. I got a computer screen here. I'm going to Arduino. Got a 3D printer and a bunch of buttons, switches, motors, servos, all sorts of fun stuff. So I think we're going to have fun with this. There's a lot we could be doing here, and this is just the start. As we grow as a channel, as we grow as a user base, as we grow as a channel, I think there's going to be a lot that we could do with this, a lot of fun that we could have. Where do I plan on going with this? I think I want it to be something that can be fun no matter how many people are in the area who are online playing with it at the same time. One idea that I had was to have 2 robot arms, because that would be fun, because you could have one arm could pass things to the other arm. They could be in 2 separate parts of the room. Another idea was to have a little RC car that drives around and can kind of push things around for the robot arm. I think that would be pretty fun to play with. I think I want to go into having so many little things that not one person could ever manage it all. And I think it would be fun to have like a system that can be ran by an audience. But the problem is I need to have the audience to have that system. So we're going to start small for now, and as we grow as a community, and as I continue building things, it'll just get better. Like I said, we have a lot of servos, a lot of got multiple Raspberry Pis. We'll just keep making more stuff. Keep it coming. It'll be a lot of fun. This is gonna be a great trip, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really happy with where the ARM control is at and where the mixer control is at. The ARM control is solid. We've been using it since Twitch. People hammered the hell out of it, and they haven't been able to break it. I think the ARM is awesome. It's right at where it's supposed to be. What's next is the mixer input. It's pretty good. I think I could use a little bit. There's a little bit more I could do with it, but I'll figure that one out as I continue to add more components to the system. I think my next big component will probably be the screen. I want to be able to do something with that besides just change the image every now and then. And I think a lot of that is going to end up being digging into visualizations. I started with Unity. I'm a Unity programmer. That's my profession, and it works really well on the computer that I have here. I actually have completely rewritten the code for the ARM in Unity, and I was trying to hook up the Mixer plugin, but it doesn't compile for Linux. So like everything else works great, but the Mixer plugin doesn't compile for Linux. And it doesn't really matter. I could still get the data from the Python script into Unity, but at this point the ARM is already in Python. Well, it's also in Unity now too. It works great in Unity too. I have the whole code for this Python ARM in both C# and Python, and it's just whatever. I don't care. I waste a lot of time on random stupid things like that sometimes. But what's next? Yeah, so I have controls for the, but it will only run on Windows. But the ARM's not available on Windows. I mean, it is, but not the library I'm using here that allows me to command it directly through software. Maybe I could do it through the OWI's library, but I haven't even touched that. I just been using this library that was on Linux that was done by. I'll post it down in the description, but it's pretty awesome. I have some code that I use for Twitch. I have that. I'll link that in the description. So yeah, that'll get you pretty much 90% of the way to this thing right here, this little ARM here. It doesn't. I didn't put the mixer command stuff in yet because I'm still working on that. I don't know how exactly I want to do that yet, but we'll get there. I do want to have more feedback to the user about what's going on and what you're doing, but I don't really want it to be all about a little screen here because that's fun, but that's only one small part. Oh, the door just closed on me. That's just one small part of the whole thing. So the screen versus the border around the robot. So the border around the robot is that's screen space. That's a little bit different. Like when you have buttons, when you have little things in the corner, that's not something that the character sees. That's not something that the robot sees. The screen is something that the robot sees. And there's going to be buttons and things and switches and stuff you could do in here, and that's going to be stuff that the robot sees. There's the input and the control that the robot can do, and then there's going to be input and control that the audience can do. And there's things that the audience can see and information that the audience will be able to see that the robot won't have access to or won't know about. And the robot, this is robot space, and whatever is within robot space includes that screen. So information that will be available to the robot will go up on that screen. And what that information is going to be, we'll have to figure that one out as we figure out how we want to have fun with this robot. But how do we put information up on that screen for the robot? I have two different ideas. There's Python. I could use either Pygame to do something. I think that would be pretty fun. I haven't really done a lot in Pygame. Another option I was considering is Unity. I'm a professional Unity developer, and I'm very familiar with the system. I know I could do so much fun stuff with Unity. I was thinking about that. I was thinking it would be fun to play something like Wolfenstein or Pac-Man on here, but I would have to mod it. So it's a consideration. I would have to mod it some way so that it allows people to have fun without getting stuck. The internet is amazing. They could do some crazy stuff with some dedicated people. They could play Minecraft with a robot arm through the internet. I do need to set up a controller in there. That's a thought. So that's something I'm gonna have to build, and I'm thinking I might build that first and then get into whatever kind of game mode. But I don't know, a couple of joysticks and stuff. I'm thinking of using the arcade buttons and simple joystick, arcade joystick controllers. Probably get like a joystick kit. They have those. They exist. I have an RFID reader. I have RFID tags. I have a couple joysticks and buttons and stuff I could plug in. I have a bunch of buttons, and a couple joysticks we could put in there and make a controller. I think that might be one of the next things I'm going to work on, is setting up a game controller or a computer interface in there. But that's not everything. I think that's kind of in the... I don't know what I'm doing there, because I think games would be fun to play on here, and I think that would be really cool. Just because Mixer is about video games, and I think it would be fun to be able to try to play video games as a robot arm through the internet. I think that would be fun, but I need to make a controller custom for this guy, because he can't just grab a standard freaking controller. Because I mean, look at this. The robot arm can't twist this. You can't turn this very well. We need to make something custom for him, and I have a 3D printer, so I just need to have the time to break this thing down for its core components and rebuild it into something that can play Wolfenstein. You know, that would be fun, and I think that would be quite a hoot. Or you could play Fortnite or Minecraft. I think Minecraft would actually be a lot of fun. That's what I want to try, is Minecraft. I could put these RFID readers around and components and stuff, and have things happen when objects go into other objects or things. I haven't figured that one out entirely yet, but yeah, we'll figure it out. It's something we could do as a little mini game that's around in the area. Sinks, kitchen sinks. Ooh, I like that. I like those kitchen sinks. You could put things in them. You could put things in kitchen sinks, mostly dishes, but then you gotta wash them sometimes. I don't always do that. I should do that more. I have a robot for that. I do. I have a robot that's really cool. It's under the sink. You open the door, you stick dishes in it, you put some soap in it, and then you close it. You push the button, and it just washes the dishes for you. It's freaking cool. Yeah, dishwashers are awesome. The robots that washes dishes for you. That's my favorite robot. My favorite robot is a dishwasher, because it washes the dishes for you. I used to have to do that shit. I was a dishwasher at Burger King. Yeah, robots replaced my job. I got a dishwasher in my own house. It's a robot dishwasher. It's awesome. So, if you notice in the controls, one cool thing that I just added is there's a box there that says seconds. Click on it and type out a number, anything from 0.01 to 4. And that will be how long, when you click a button, that's how long the motor will run. Click on joystick mode, and you get 3 joysticks. The center one is going to be the grip, and the left and right, well, you're going to have to figure that one out on your own. But basically allows you to hold your phone like this and just be like. It might work with the Xbox joysticks. I don't know how Xbox works. I don't have one to try it out. I would like to hear about it from viewers. If maybe somebody could videotape themselves playing with this on the Xbox, that would be pretty cool. I would like that. Like, subscribe, check out my Mixer channel, follow me on Mixer, follow me here on YouTube. I'm going to keep doing these updates whenever we have things to share. Share your ideas down in the doodly-doo, and thanks.